Oh, yeah. Time for a Lucy break. Lucy Breakers, 100% nicotine, always tobacco-free. When do I use my Lucy? Whenever I want, really. Whenever I want some good mint flavor, because that's my favorite flavor is the Lucy Mint. These are 12 milligrams, people. Get together with me in enjoying these Lucy Breakers. Level up your nicotine routine with Lucy. I said that like Harvey Keitel. Let's level up your Lucy nicotine routine. Promo code J, J-A-Y. You're going to go to lucy.co/JAY and you get 20% off your first order. Lucy.co/J. Enjoy your Lucy Breaker. Thank you, Lucy, for sponsoring this podcast. And here comes the fine print. Lucy products are only for adults of legal age, and every order is age verified. So don't try to cheat it. Warning, this product contains nicotine, and nicotine is an addictive chemical.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. You're ready to move your business forward, but first, you need to find the right team. Start your search with Indeed-sponsored jobs. It can help you reach qualified candidates fast, ensuring your listing is the first one they see. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs are 90% more likely to report a hire than non-sponsored jobs. See the results for yourself. Get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Hello, I'm Diane Morgan. If you know who I am, you know who I am. If you don't, who cares? I'm here to explain Italian Time, a holiday phenomenon where Italians throw away their clocks and gather for eternity with San Pellegrino. I've been at this party so long that I've eaten 5 courses, hugged someone's grandma twice, and been offered a job in the family restaurant. So this holiday season, make sure to bring enough San Pellegrino to last you through the meal, the after meal, and the entire goodbye ritual. San Pellegrino, holiday on Italian Time.
Put your name on it. Just put your name on it. That's all I say. Be a man or a woman. Put your name on it.
You know Dave Thomas from...
Yeah.
He did this amazing Bob Hope, of course. He was the greatest Bob Hope. And he got to meet Bob and everything. And Bob, he said, every time I went over to Bob's house, he said, come here, let me show you something. And he showed him a picture of Douglas MacArthur, General MacArthur, pissing in a river. And that was the first thing he wanted to show him every time he came. Anyway, so Dave
First
Thomas,
of all, no, that needs its own space. That Bob Hope was fired up about General MacArthur peeing in a river is great.
Apparently, it's what he showed guys, because like asshole buddies, we're all cool. Anyway, so there was a writer named David Thomason or something like a very similar name. And when he was a kid, when he was a young writer, he was trying to write jokes for Bob Hope because he had, he was going to pitch some jokes and nothing sold. He just couldn't get anything. So a friend of his says, there's a guy who has almost the same name as you, and he does this great Bob Hope. Why don't you watch him and write for this fake Bob Hope? And he started doing that. He started kind of leaning into this kind of vapidity that Dave Thomas created. And he wrote this whole, and he sold some jokes to Bob Hope.
After writing him for Dave Thomas, to Bob Hope?
This is a joke kind of like a guy making fun of you would do. And Bob said, fine. It gotta laugh.
Is Bob Hope
dead? Yes.
Hot? Okay. Well, let me get my notes.
Not hot button? No.
No, I got a hot take. Bob Hope, to me, maybe the most overrated. He didn't write anything. And he just stood there and read cue cards, and he was hailed as a genius.
Well, nobody hailed him as a genius. He was very successful.
Nobody hailed him as a genius.
I don't think so. I think that a lot of people have a very sentimental thing about Bob, or did have a lot of sentiment. Nobody knows who he is now. It's that kind of effervescent thing that just goes away when you're not around anymore.
The movies are great.
The movies are cool.
I like all the road movies. Do you know any Bob Hope movies, Joe?
I don't know any Bob Hope.
Do you know who
movies.
Bob Hope is?
I do know who Bob Hope is.
Do you have hope?
No, I don't. I don't have hope. I have no hope. I have no
What
Bob
country
Hope
was
anymore.
Bob Hope born in?
Czechoslovakia. No, it wasn't.
England.
England, that makes... He looks so British. The big slope nose.
Yeah.
That could... If you isolate that, just me saying the big slope nose, it would sound so racist.
But
did you ever write for other... Did you ever... I mean, we did SNL together, but were you ever a joke writer?
No.
Like, me neither.
My friend Dave Lander, who was Squiggy on Laverne and Shirley, Did you ever? You met him one time.
We did
He
the
came
Pulp
and we did
Fiction.
one thing. Yeah, exactly.
Pulp Fiction, Lenny and Squiggy. Bit.
Yeah. So, but anyway,
Sweet guy.
Awesome guy.
Yeah.
Funniest man I ever knew. But what was I going with that?
Writing for other people.
Oh yeah. When we were just out of college, and he was 19, and he started selling jokes to columnists in New York. That like Earl Wilson. And none of these names mean anything now. But guys who started like Ed Sullivan started writing a column, a Broadway column stuff. So they would just put these jokes in and attribute them to people that a guy would say, so-and-so said this. He didn't say that. Some guy sold him a joke for 80 cents, and he was selling jokes for 80 cents a piece. And he got a couple in the columns, and it was like, Dave, you're a professional writer.
Yeah.
You're actually selling. And he did that. He could do that, but I never did that.
Don Rio told me he was writing for The Return of the Honeymooners. He's the head writer on Action. And Jackie Gleason was such a cocksucker. You had to hand in maybe 100 jokes a day.
Yeah.
Like insane. So they'd all go in the room in Miami. They're in Miami, and they would all stand there, and Jackie Gleason at his desk would have the big giant stack of jokes, maybe 50 jokes a day, but still it was giant tome stack, Jenga tower of jokes. And he would take one piece of paper with one, you had to be one joke per page. And he would put it on the desk. He would read it to himself and look up at you and take one finger and slide it across the desk into the trash can.
Oh.
He did that for 1,000 jokes, and he goes, now go get me a good monologue. And they all leave, and then Don Rio put his ear to the door to hear if he was calling the network, if he was fired, and he could hear Jackie going through the trash can and taking out the jokes he liked.
Yeah.
He did it just to humiliate guys.
It's kind of performative is what you're saying.
Oh, I could never live that way. It was bad. SNL's hard enough. Just the no response, just that vacuum was tough. And
You mean when
writing
on
SNL?
Yeah.
Like you just don't know how you're doing.
The writing was easy, but it's the presenting of it. It's put it in that fucking dead space of the table with like everyone was a little bit hungover and a little bit cranky, and Lorne was 45 minutes late.
You finished. Everyone was writing on computers, and me and Dave Attell were writing on yellow legal pads.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I just got a computer, just got a laptop around that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were there my second season. It was you, Moena Banks, and we did, let me just say the big story to me, and I've said it to these guys on episodes. When I was having panic attacks, before I was like medicated, panic disorder, I would go into your office down the hall from me, dying. And I'll never forget, you had an acoustic guitar, and I'm like, I'm having panic attacks. I'm dying. My insides are on my outside. And you would just go, there's a gay bar in San Francisco called the White Swallow. And I'm like, that's impossible. You go, oh yeah, I've seen it. And then we went on this run of He's Gayer Than. And the two best, I think, that were said that day, both by you, was He's Gayer Than a Lake Full of Pink Snakes.
I don't think that's mine.
It was, even if you just pulled it, he's gayer. And I remember once you were like deep in thought, and I was like trying to rapid fire, and you just waited for me to finish my role, and you went, he's gayer than a leather pinata.
Yeah.
And I had been there.
Well, that entered the language somehow. That showed up. I heard Harvey Fierstein say that.
He's gayer than a leather. So we would do this for an hour and a half, and it wasn't until an hour and a half went by, Michael, I realized I was no longer having any panic attacks. You were my human
Xanax.
I was going to say human pop, but you were my human Xanax.
I had reached a sort of air pocket. I was in this kind of, I didn't know quite, I was 44 or something when I started the show. And it was like, well, I know I'm being hired to replace Phil, which could never be done by anybody, human or otherwise. And to play Spade's dad and to play the president, and it was just, but it was very
air
odd
pocket.
time.
Explain that.
Well, I mean, I was kind of like, I don't know where I'm going here.
You're the bridge quarterback. Like, you're not our franchise quarterback, but you can play for a year and a half while we draft a new guy.
I knew he'd drag sports into
You're Joe Flacco.
You're Joe Flacco? Yeah, sorry about that.
No.
Sports. But you really saved me. You were just kind. And then you and your girl at the time, You invited me out on a Sunday to lunch, and I hadn't seen the daytime. I hadn't seen sunlight on a Sunday.
I remember that.
And
Yeah, we had lunch in the village, I think.
Yeah, and I just had the nicest time. You're just an easy, good. You're one of the good guys. And Patton Oswalt was here, and he compared last week. He compared Joe Rogan to L. Ron Hubbard. He goes, oh, fucking Patton. He said, L. Ron Hubbard's this guy that everybody knew, and he took they would write articles and op-eds, and he would go and take a lot of amphetamine and write a novel. And then one day he's in charge of 100 million people. Yeah. And he goes, and that's Rogan. So I said, well, which comic would be better equipped for the good of comedy to take that mantle? And he said Brian Regan. Mm-hmm. I said, I don't know if I don't think you're a stand-up, but I'm going to go Michael McKean. And he went, oh. And then I settled on Pete Holmes.
Because I'm older and I'm more responsible.
Well, you're just a good guy. You're not going to tell me I'm an idiot for getting vaccinated and.
Oh, no. I'd go the other way. I'd take the fucking shot.
You got to take the shots. Be a good lemming.
Come to my house and give it to me in my sleep. I don't care.
My last booster shot was in an alley behind a Best Buy. I didn't care. Some Puerto Rican guy pulled up in an El Camino and said, you need the shot, man. Come, bop, 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 bop.
God, the first vaccinations where you had to go to Silver Lake, and it was just like stand in line around a park, and it was like, wow. This is the future.
I went to like a halfway house or something, but the original tests, I was in the depths of my drug addiction. I was a speed guy, and the original test was you pricked your finger. I don't know if you guys remember those. Yeah. You prick your finger and put your blood on a slide.
Yeah.
But I was on so much speed when I pricked my finger, I didn't bleed. Oh. And my wife's like, who doesn't bleed? What am I? And I would just keep pricking my finger and no blood would come out because my circulation was so whacked out.
My doctor always does that. He always pinches my fingernail. I'm not a problem in this area. But apparently if you pinch somebody's fingernails and they stay kind of white.
Yeah, you got to see the color.
It's sort of like something else, something other than blood is going on in there,
I always have cold hands. How's your circulation?
What was the joke I did the other night? Said there are Esperanto books in the library that have better circulation than I do.
Fucking Mike.
Esperanto.
My hands are always cold. Feel my hand right now.
Very cold.
Tip of my penis is always cold.
That's have you ever heard of that thing? Huh?
Have you ever heard
You've been rimming snowmen again.
No, rimming's my mouth. My mouth is cold.
Okay.
The tip of my penis is always cold. Like just the head of my cock is. Yeah. Well, my wife's always like, okay.
If I lose the covers at 9, mine gets cold too. Shaft as well.
We did the sketch, The Motivational Speaker, entirely in Spanish, or Chris did it all in Spanish. You were the dad. You were a Mexican plantation owner.
Oh my God, I don't remember this at all.
What? I was in it. Moena Banks were your children. And Chris's entire thing was he only spoke Spanish. And it's always like there's a reason he's in the basement. He's in the basement. He's been chewing cocoa leaves for 4 hours. For some reason, when Matt Foley comes over, you put him in your basement. He's been like Phil Hartman. He's been in the basement drinking espressos for the last 2 hours. And then you go, children, I'm at my wit's end with you. I've hired the state's best motivational speaker, Matt Foley. He's been in the basement chewing cocoa leaves for 4 hours. And Chris comes up, hola, mos niños. You don't remember this?
I'm starting to.
And you go, Senor Foley, both my children and I both speak excellent English. And he goes, Padre, donde por favor enferme tan gran yapper. Shut your flan hole. And then I go, Senior Foley, where'd you learn your Spanish? Taco Bell? And we laugh. And Chris just goes, muy cómico. Es el Paul Rodriguez. Es Paul Rodriguez. No? But Chris couldn't read the cue cards with his glasses on. So the entire sketch, he's going like this and losing his place. It was madness.
Oh, my God. I've never seen it. I've never seen
it. It was the highlight of my career. Remember. No, second highlight of my career. I think the highlight... People always ask, and hopefully you'll talk at some point in this episode. I'm so excited you're here. People go like, what's your welcome to show business moment? And I want yours. but mine involves you. The first one was I was at the Paris casino doing stand-up, and I went to get paid in the office, and there was a dry erase board of the acts, and I was between Tony Bennett and Shaka Khan, Jay Mohr, and I'm like, this is crazy. But the other one was when I did the Jiminy Glick show with you.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And Marty, you guys wanted to pre-tape a sketch, and it was me, you, and Marty in a steam room, and you guys get into a fight when I'm sitting between you. He calls you a persnickety old hen. And what was your character's name?
Adrian Van Voorhees.
He played a harp?
Yes.
And you guys just started fighting around me, and I realized in real time that you, Martin Short, and Bernie Brillstein put me in a room and just said, just go, just ad lib.
Yeah, pretty much.
And the fact that you guys trusted me with that gave me, it was like Popeye eating spinach.
What I remember, I do remember that that you actually used the C word, and it was like it was a little ripple of from the audience, because there was a live audience. It was
That's the old me.
Oh no, it was appropriate.
Oh,
well, sort of appropriate.
Oh, about Homegirl. We won't say her
yeah,
name.
it was about.
Yeah, and then Marty. Yeah, I don't look fondly. I would have posted many of those clips had I not said not nice things about somebody who's probably maybe having a bad couple of years when they met me.
Not in this case. it's all going fine.
What was your welcome to show business moment?
It happened in stages, because I was doing stuff on, I was in a satirical group called the Credibility Gap. It was Dave Lander, Harry Shearer, me, and a guy named Richard Beebe. And then we were a trio. And up till the mid-'70s, that's what we did. We would do, sketches on the news. We would, essentially do, we would follow the news story of the day, and we found places to do that around. And it was a funny act.
In L.A.?
Really good. In L.A. is, we put an album out for Warner Brothers in 73 or 4. Didn't do much, but we took it on the road, and we, did some stuff. Played Austin, Texas. That was kind of an interesting introduction to a certain part of show business.
Why?
Well, because it was one of those things. It's like, God, we're going to Texas? And I knew my parents are from Louisiana. It was like the South was kind of iffy. I don't know. I'm going to go down there and do a lot of anti-Nixon shit, and all this. And so we get there, and the first thing that happens, this sky cap who's taking our bags, so we got some equipment and stuff, not too much, and he starts hauling it in. He just kind of takes a liking to us because we were a little shaggy, and he says, "Come over here," and he lit up a joint, and he took a couple of hits, and he passed it around, and I thought, well, I like that part of show business just fine. It's cool.
You told me a great story when you guys were doing Spinal Tap, that you guys had a ton of hash somewhere in Europe.
Oh yeah, it's in your book, and you kind of it exploded a little bit. The chunk of hash that I ate, it was about a gram. I mean, it was not nothing, but it was about the size of a half a die, yeah, about a thimble. Yeah, okay. And I wrapped it up in a dried apricot, and I chewed it up, and I thought this will be fine for our trip to Sweden. The next is we were in London, and we couldn't take, we didn't want to have drugs, so I wore it inside. It's the only time in my life I ever did that. It was like a little reckless, because it was sort of, there's that moment where you go, uh-oh, and then you go, I really don't give a fuck. Uh-oh, and no.
And what happened when you landed in Sweden?
People tell me I was brilliant. The other guys, it was with David, with Harry and Chris, the other tap guys, and we were going around doing drummer auditions because we assumed our drummer would die before we got to the tour. So, and we went and did one in Sweden, and we sat at a panel, and a bunch of drummers came out, some of them amazing, and it was really fun. But I don't remember much of Stockholm.
You told me there was some press conference you guys did where you guys were so high you made up a language, but you all understood each other.
Wow.
You were just like, blah, blah, and then Harry would be like, blah, 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 and you guys were just talking this nonsense language.
Wow.
That's the story that's in the book.
Oh, I vaguely remember.
You were really proud of that story too when you told me. What do you remember? Let's go there.
Well, I don't remember whatever line
Harry
of bullshit
Truman?
I gave you at the time.
Oh yeah, young impressionable guy. What do you remember doing Welcome Back, Kotter if it was directed by Quentin Tarantino?
Yes, I do.
And
Yeah.
I had one request. I said, look, I'm co-writing this sketch. My only request is that I play Mr. Woodman. That's all I cared about. Okay, Kotter.
That's right.
And everybody looked at me like,
Who was that actor?
Sylvester something. Sylvester, if only I had a producer that could look
Yes.
things up. Jamie,
A computer of some kind. If only there were a way.
and only if we
of
carried it in our
communicating.
pockets. Sylvester, his name was Sylvester for sure. I could still see
Wasn't
the
Sorrel Book or anything. Sorrel Book was Boss Hogg. That's a whole different.
John Sylvester. Okay, Kotter, you and those sweat hugs.
What I would, the worst thing was, Buscemi comes through the door as Reservoir Dogs, but because there's no context, he comes in, he's dressed like Mr. Pink, you know, but he comes through the door and he's alone. And what they needed was a line like, "Come on, Reservoir Dogs." And then he shows up and he's alone. Make a gag out of it. But instead it was just a guy comes through the door.
He got an applause
Who is
break for
that?
coming through the door.
Huh?
He got an applause break.
Not much. It could have been a great gag. is
So
what
that
I'm
was the
saying.
gap. We had a gap.
Yeah.
And we had a hole in our swing.
I'm telling you, I have a rewrite for something we did 30 years ago.
I'm in. I love rewrites when it's guys like you, and I'm not sitting there with guys rewriting things for no reason. I thought that
God.
did you ever find yourself exacerbated by guys rewriting your sketch?
No, because, all told, I generated about 10 or 12 sketches and wrote on a lot of other sketches. And the stuff I did by myself was really like kind of contextual things that they would suggest, which made sense, This didn't bother me too much. The stuff that I thought was funny, what I wrote, stayed in. And we wrote a couple of things together.
You're the reason I was Tony Bennett. You were going to
Really?
be Tony Bennett. I think
Somebody wanted, yeah.
Damon Wayans
suggested.
was hosting. You were going to be Adam Sandler was Tom Jones. You were Tony Bennett, and I'm just standing on the floor overseeing another sketch. And you come over and go, "Hey, can you do Tony Bennett?" And I went, "I don't know. I never gave it a try." You go, "Hey, Lauren, Jay's going to do Tony Bennett. I
Yeah.
can't do it."
I do remember that.
That was it.
Yeah.
And it was like who gets that lucky in life that Michael McKean just hands you Tony Bennett?
Well, I had to do that one time. I had to go in for myself, and it was like Al Franken wrote a sketch for Mark
McKinney.
for Mark McKinney to play George Will, and I said, and so he was going to do it, and it was just he didn't know who George Will was. He was a Canadian guy, So it's like because he had glasses on, He said, "Well, he's perfect. He'll do that." And
You wearing glasses?
And I said, let me have a crack at that. And I did a pretty good George Will because I knew I could do it because I was fascinated with him. He had this thing where he would constantly be looking at himself in the monitor, but trying to he'd be talking to somebody like this, and he kept glancing down here with, like a mirror on the ceiling, He's just like going after himself. I thought that was great. So,
I know I'm getting older when I look forward to George Will appearances. I'm like, this guy, he makes some good points. It's the sign of you're in your 50s.
You know what? All the Cubs just had to win once.
That's
and
right.
He mellowed like a fine peach.
My son used to look at himself in doorknobs, would be like, okay, it's time for preschool. And you get to the door and you'd be like, God, buddy. And he'd just catch his reflection in the doorknob. And we were like, maybe we need some special classes for this guy because he would just stare at himself
God.
I like that he thought he was shaped like that too.
and upside down.
There was a guy in college who really looked at his life as something he was making a movie of. You know what I mean? He was a big movie buff. And, he had seen Night of the Hunter 1,100 times. And, he was like one of these guys who just kind of knew that. Super fan. But he also treated people like we were in his movie. So when he had a chance to, I'm not kidding, when he had a chance to speak to us in a mirror, he would take that choice. You go,
Oh, because it'd be a good shot.
land. Will you Will you please land, Jonesy? Whatever his name was.
You mentioned the comedy troupe you were with. It was you, Harry Shearer, David Lander, and the BB guy.
Richard Beebe.
But then you called yourselves a trio.
Well, because Richard left in 75, he left the act, and we kind of whittled it down to
Where's Richard Beebe now?
Richard passed away in 1990. It was right around the time I got married, 98, I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did
He was quite a bit older than us.
Did he stay in show business?
He went back to essentially went back to the news game, went back to radio. He fought in the Korean War. This is an older guy. He'd fought in the Korean War, and then he came back to
He took
Pasadena.
the picture of MacArthur pissing in the river. Little known fact.
I shall return. He's doing it in the snow now.
Yeah.
I shall return in the snow.
What a kooky war.
Wacky war. Greatest generation.
Yeah, this generation would be so cooked. If we had to storm the beaches at Normandy, we'd be like, oh,
Dude.
it's so cold.
In the morning,
Yeah.
Can I bring my hoodie?
Uh-oh. Here's trouble.
their phones would go off, and they'd be.
No one foresaw that.
How was Glengarry Glen Ross?
It was great. It was
Wow.
really fun. I'd never done a full-on Mammoth before. I did an episode of The Unit that he wrote. This show
He's intense. He's been on.
is kind of he's a character.
Did he draw you any cartoons as a gift?
No, well, he did in a way. He designed us for opening night. He designed us a tin of toffee with the Glengarry Highlander on it, and always be chewing. I think it said on it, and it was something that he designed. It was pretty cute.
He did the podcast and he goes, I have a present for you. I'm doing Alan Arkin suddenly. I have a present. He's deaf, so I should do an impression of him. He goes, I have a gift for you. And I'm like, oh, and it was, obviously a framed something. And I took it out and it was just Donald Trump dressed as Hitler. But there was it was just so where am I going to put this? But it's David Mamet, so I do want to put it. So, you know what? We'll put it in here.
Yeah, there you go.
Next to the MacArthur picture.
Next, can you get me the MacArthur picture?
I don't know.
From Bob Hope's house.
If you run into Dave Thomas, you should ask him about his
Dave Thomas was on my favorite show ever. It was during Saturday Night Live. It was the new show. Lorne, they wanted to give it a run on Fridays, and the best sketch I ever saw was the Frightened Family.
Yeah.
And every time they got scared, they rigged the wigs to go up in the air. Dave Thomas was the dad on the Frightened Family.
I remember the food repairman. John Candy is a guy who repairs food. If you have a roast and it gets broken somehow.
I was surprised. Oh, shoot. I got to thank our Substack listeners, Michael.
Okay.
Ryan Andrews, Mick Kraut, which I believe was in the New York Dolls, wasn't he? Mick Kraut. Ty Jordan, bassist for the Stones, took over for Bill Wyman. Mary Murphy, good Irish lady. And Rufus Barr. That's a cool name right out of a Runyon.
Barre?
Barr.
You know Rufus Barr with an E?
What?
You know Rufus Barr, B-A-R-R-E?
Yeah. Couldn't be the same guy.
Different
He's
guy.
got an E.
He was the fifth member of the trio, Joe. Rufus Barr. Rufus Barr, that's a name out of a Runyon novel.
Yeah.
So the Mamet, he's legendarily stick on script. There's no ad-libbing.
Well,
but the words are perfect.
Yeah, they're all playable and they're all really fun. And we'd get in the groove some nights. And first of all, it's a short play. It's a play that doesn't really need an intermission.
How long? About an hour?
No, about an hour 35, which is, that's as long as some first acts. And, but it's what it is. And it was a great experience. It was really fun.
Did Bill Burr surprise you?
Bill Burr was great. We sat down at the table first day, and we nailed it.
Who did he play, Bill Burr?
Bill plays Moss. So his character was played by, in the film, which is the
Ed
touchstone, yes, by Ed Harris. Yeah.
I don't have to take this shit. You certainly don't, pal. But the Alan...
I played Alan's part.
You played Alan. I meant the Alec Baldwin part isn't in the play.
No.
Wow. How do you think people go hoping... this is the best part of the movie, and then they're wondering what happened.
I don't know. We had their money already. They were disappointed, And it costs a lot to see a Broadway show now. And we never saw an empty seat. I mean, it was really well attended.
And Bob is such a
Bob's amazing.
and I go to the movies. There's a theater right here, and my wife's a huge you got to support the movies, so they'll go away like
I love
bookstores.
it. I'm with her.
And it's you just sit in the movie theater, and then you see Bob doing the Mr. Nobody.
Mm-hmm.
There's never been a more unlikely. He leaks a little.
Once you get a little older,
Right.
you're going to leak a little bit. Yeah.
There's never been a more unlikely action star.
Yeah, I know.
And he's such a good guy. Oh, everything's great, man. Yeah. He's always fired up. I don't know if he was.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And he, everybody worked on their voice and everything, and we were all mic'd. We could be heard. We played the Palace Theater. We didn't sell the top tier, but still, it's a barn. So we're playing there, and so we're all mic'd. And still, he was compelled to push it. So after the first few weeks, he started to feel it. And he got a cold. We all got a cold. Several colds passed through, and everybody was just off their feet. Me and Bill, we hung in there.
How many shows a week?
8.
Did you find was that a new stamina for you? Had you done Broadway before?
Yeah, this was my 13th.
Oh,
show.
what else have I heard of you?
Like that.
Have you? Pardon my ignorance.
No. I've done a bunch of stuff since 2004. I went in for Harvey Fierstein. I went in after him in Hairspray.
Oh yeah,
So I did that
knew
for 6 months. I did a Woody Allen play off Broadway. So I was working in New York a lot. Then I come back. I did Pinter play, and I did Pajama Game Revival, and I was doing that a lot. Finally, we had to get a place in New York, and now I have a wife who likes to work and makes a good paycheck, so we can afford an apartment in New York. So it's great.
I could never have a wife that makes more money than me.
No, oh boy, I could. I recommend it.
Your cast of Glengarry, such a group of improvisers. Was there a night where anybody lost a line and that came in handy?
No one. Interesting. No one really threw in anything. When Bob was doing his description of the sale he just made, which is a great chunk, which is an amazing piece, and he was just every night he'd swing for a different fence. It was phenomenal and really. And I'm off stage. I'm in this little cubicle. I'm being questioned by the cop, so I can't see this. But me and the cop, we're listening every night and going, here he goes, putting that kite up in the air, Yeah. And he was great. He was amazing. And occasionally he'd slip in a little, something, but it really wasn't like adding lines. It was more like,
adding flair.
Directing stuff.
Well, those Mammoth lines, it's like listening to your favorite song.
I know.
It's really, Is it easier to memorize lines that are written that beautifully?
Well, the thing is, though, if you boil them all down, they're all very direct.
Yeah.
My character specifically, Bill's character and Bob's character, they're good with the words. And Karen's, of course. They're all really good with the words, and they're all really, and I'm a passive character, the Arkin character, which I can see again now. I saw it about 2 years ago, and I love the film. And I didn't want to see it I just didn't want to see Alan do it again until I'm done with it. So now I can watch it again. But he's like the doormat.
Yeah.
And I've played some other doormats.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Did you ever do you ever do a role where you find yourself at home saying your dialogue? Like just thinking as the guy?
Yeah, I did a play called Superior Donuts in New York. I did it at Steppenwolf and then New York in 2008 and 2009. And it was pretty close to how I felt. A different guy. A Chicago guy for one thing, and very much different history, like returned draft dodger, like cleaning up after his old man. It's like an entirely different guy. But there was something about him that was exactly me. And when I was doing it at Steppenwolf, I was dressed essentially like this because this is what I wear every day. And I wore something very much like this in the play. And I would routinely, the Steppenwolf housing is right next to the theater. And I would routinely just go home, not knowing that I hadn't changed into my street gear. So I'm still in costume, walk home, and I get halfway there, which is about 3 blocks, and I go, okay. And I just keep going, have a bite, take a nap, back to work, never have to get ready again. So there was something about that guy, and there's not a lot about it in the, and he's a very Chicago guy, like I say, but there's not a lot about it in the play, but I have a feeling that we would probably have the same bunch of records in the cellar, you know?
Yeah, it's nice. I did this movie, Seeing Other People. Wally Wolodarski wrote it and directed it with his wife, and the guy was, Julianne Nicholson was my wife.
Love her.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
And it was, when I came home, it was my first marriage, and when I came home, I didn't know if I was arguing with my wife or if I was acting like I was arguing with my wife.
Oh.
I was like, this has never happened to me before.
Yeah.
Who's the best actor you were ever across from?
Wow. James Earl Jones.
Hmm. Who's that?
Ian McShane. Ian McShane was, we
What'd you do with him?
did a Pinter play called The Homecoming, which was a monster. It was really, really fun. But also, I'd have to say, I did The Little Foxes in 2017 in New York. And we had revolving leading ladies. Laura Linney and Cynthia Nixon played, they both had both roles. And we would alternate with them playing in those roles. And every night working with them, no matter which character they were doing, was just a lesson, just right down the groove.
Does that throw you off at all? Having somebody switch roles?
Oh.
I feel like
No, you get used to. We had a long stretch of rehearsal. It was
I meant,
we had to.
Joe's asking another question as well.
No, it wasn't as
Stupid
confusing as
Joe.
you think. Yeah.
I have a lot on Airheads whenever we. I don't know if
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, one of my favorite roles of yours, and like that early era of Comedy Central, they would just replay things over and over and over.
Yeah.
And I must have seen Airheads like 40 times.
Oh,
I feel like
nice.
you nailed that role, and you're such a nice guy. But what was it like on that set and playing that role, the slick?
Well, it was a really, really friendly set. It was really nice. And I was kind of getting to know all those monkeys, Adam and Buscemi and Joe Mantegna, who is like a guy I had encountered a couple of times. I actually had dinner with him. He did Glengarry Glen Ross in Chicago with Peter Falk. And I went out and had dinner with them, and I know who's going to pick up all these names. And Jenna Rollins was there as well, and Paul Schrader and Michael J. Fox, and I don't know who else. Anyway, it was one of those great, now I'm in show business moments, But I knew him just from then, and working with him was, do you know Joe?
The first thing I ever did on film was a movie that never came out with Joe, and it was James Woods. It was basically, it was Castle Rock. Jason Alexander maybe was a holdout for Seinfeld getting re-upped, and it was, look, we'll even let you direct. So it was this Jason Alexander directing us thing, but I don't think they ever had an intention of releasing it. But Joe and I were robbing a credit union, and James Woods talks us into it, and whatever. So we're in this Cadillac in the heat in Echo Park, and I'm just sitting there. I'm 20 years old. I'm like, it's so goddamn hot in this car. Like, blah, blah, blah. What? And then one day, after like 2 days in, Joe Mantegna looks at me. He's wearing we're about to rob a bank, so he's got pantyhose over his face. So his face is all pushed in. He goes, who gives a fuck? And I went, oh, okay.
That's great.
That's better. Because you work with James Woods, who is fucking dynamite on a pile of dog shit cake, just shit flying everywhere. Like there's a guy across the street, he's holding a Pepsi can. I can't fucking act with a guy across the street holding a Pepsi can. And then you got Joe Mantegna. Who gives a fuck? I love, and
That's good tone. Good tone.
Oh, he's
I
the
don't do his
best.
tone, but when we were on Airheads, I said, "Joe, you going to go to the rap party?" I said, "Nah, I've already danced with most of the Teamsters' wives."
Joe's a good time.
He's awesome.
Very laconic, like the Vin Scully of acting. He's just easygoing.
Yeah.
It's like a summertime ball game.
Hey,
just
he's
always
a bleacher bum. He's a guy from out there in Wrigley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said two good Joe Mantegna stories. he told me when his grandma was getting naturalized from Italy,
Yeah.
they go, Mrs. Montaigne, who was the first president of the United States? I said, it's George Washington. Who was the 16th president of the United States? Hey, Abraham Lincoln. And the judge goes, and what did he do for the slaves? And exact quote, he moved them to the south side. And the judge just hit the gavel and said, you're all right. Fucking Chicago judge. She gets it.
That's fabulous.
He moved them to the south side.
Oh, that's awesome.
Joe had an Uncle Willie
Yeah.
who was, I guess, a legitimate businessman.
Yeah.
And he had his voice box removed. And he didn't have the stick to touch his throat. But
Right.
when he spoke, it was great effort. And then I was, a maniac young guy, and I'm breaking balls, trying to get a reaction out of Uncle Willie. And then Uncle Willie one day looks at Joe and goes, if that was my kid, I'd leave him at a night game. Somebody on set brought in VHS tapes. Used to be the thing on a set, like a wacky VHS tape. And it was like a bunch of bloopers, people getting hurt. And then there was one part of this half-hour blooper reel was a guy having sex with a chicken.
Stop it.
And so one day we're at
How
lunch.
was the chicken prepared? We have to ask.
Bring in the food fixer. Of John Candy to fix it.
The food repairman.
Food repairman. So one day we're all just standing around, and I'm like, I was so uncomfortable with silence back in the day. So I go, hey, did you watch that VHS tape? And Uncle Willie goes, it's bullshit. The guy's fucking it under the wing. It was just one. It was a half-hour tape, and that was just maybe 8 seconds, like an interstitial of a guy just boning a chicken. Oh yeah, time for a Lucy break. Lucy Breakers, 100% nicotine, always tobacco-free. When do I use my Lucy? Whenever I want, really. Whenever I want some good mint flavor, because that's my favorite flavor is the Lucy Mint. These are 12 milligrams, people. Get together with me in enjoying these Lucy Breakers. Level up your nicotine routine with Lucy. I said that like Harvey Keitel. Let's level up your Lucy nicotine routine. Promo code J, J-A-Y. You're going to go to lucy.co/JAY and you get 20% off your first order. Lucy.co/J. Enjoy your Lucy Breaker. Thank you, Lucy, for sponsoring this podcast. And here comes the fine print. Lucy products are only for adults of legal age, and every order is age verified. So don't try to cheat it. Warning, this product contains nicotine, and nicotine is an addictive chemical.
This episode is brought to you by Netflix. Global superstar and comedy sensation Kevin Hart returns for his 5th Netflix special, Acting My Age.
I'm not the same man that I used to be. I go down the stairs sideways. Go ahead, you in a rush? Go around.
With a fresh perspective on life, family, and getting older.
Older you get, the less you can have. Is there sesame seeds on that bun? Get it out of here.
Kevin's bringing his signature high-energy humor and physical comedy in a true return to his stand-up origins. Watch Kevin Hart, Acting My Age, now streaming only on Netflix.
The Who's Down in Who Newville were making their list, but some didn't know Walmart has the best brands for their gifts.
What about toys? Do they have brands kids have been wanting all year?
Yep, Barbie, Tony's, and Lego. Gifts that will make them all cheer.
Do you mean they have all the brands I adore?
They have Nintendo, Nespresso, Apple, and more.
What about...
So the Who answered questions from friends till they were blue. Each one listened and shouted, from Walmart? Who knew? Shop gifts from top brands for everyone on your list in the Walmart app.
How do you audition to do Glengarry Glen Ross? Is it an offer?
No, it's there's a producer who always hires me.
Oh,
Jeffrey Richards. We've done 6 things together, and he's great. And he's always gets it done. He's a he's a great team player, and he puts a lot of money together. He gets these things produced. There are 30 producers on any Broadway show now. Even something with 6 guys and 1 set. Well, 2 sets, 2 great sets. But no. It's what's the question?
Who's your favorite president?
Oh yeah, it's Abraham Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln.
Who is your favorite president? Give me your top 3.
Lincoln's in there. Lincoln's maybe he's kind of like the Stones. I'm not sure who the Beatles is yet. No.
Who's your favorite Muppet?
It's Pepe the King Prawn.
That's a great
That's a
answer.
good answer.
Who's yours?
Isn't that a great character?
He's great.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. I ask every guest. Most guests I ask that.
Yeah.
And anybody that says Fozzie is banned from the show. Fucking hack. Waka waka.
Never wrote a joke in his life.
Right. He's the Bob Hope of puppets.
Milton Berle was the guy with the rep. He was the thief of bad gags, you know.
He was a thief, but he also apparently had like a 14-inch cock.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uncle Milty, that thing had its own feeding schedule. You heard that, right?
Yeah, of course.
So I walked in on him in the steam room. He was in there alone. I thought he had his kid with him. These jokes.
Drew Carey had it in his book. It was a whole chapter of my dick so big jokes.
Oh, yeah.
And the one I always liked was my dick's so big it won't answer my calls.
That's awesome.
Do you have pets?
We have a dog named Barry, who is a very cute dog. We had a dog, Annette and I have been together for 26 years, and we had a dog for the first, 15 of those. Got to be a very old, very cranky dog. Started cranky. It's a Korean Jindo dog. They don't like anybody.
It was the Bill Burr of dogs.
Oh,
big deal.
Yeah.
Like, I give a shit. Fucking give me a treat. I'm supposed to fucking beg up now? Give you my paw? Really?
I can't do it. I don't know why I'm mentioning it, but if you encounter Bill, you got to hear his Henry Winkler.
Henry Winkler?
His Henry Winkler is so beautiful. It's like a haiku. It's fantastic.
He does an impression of Henry Winkler.
He does. And Henry came to see the show.
The nicest man in show business.
Nicest man in
There's no one above him.
Easily.
Okay.
Eddie Vedder, close, but,
Oh, all right. Does Bill Burr do me?
No,
I saw Pearl Jam once, and he goes, in the middle of the show, he stops and he goes, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but Dick Cheney is the world's biggest asshole. I'm like, bro, you didn't play Jeremy yet. You're the world's biggest asshole. Dick Cheney. You know what Dick Cheney never thinks about? Pearl Jam.
Well, nothing anymore.
Well, we don't know that.
That's true.
If ever a guy was going to pull off the mothership lizard reptile brain exit strategy.
I don't know. I think there's a special place for war profiteers who are also vice president.
Fucking Kissinger.
You're doing an Eddie Vedder before a song. I think
there's a special place for war profiteers in government. This song's for Henry Kissinger, who's responsible for the death of millions. Whether it be in this is elderly woman behind a counter in a small town.
And then he goes into the loveliness of Paris.
Yeah, it never matches.
Thank you for remembering.
What's the great? Thanks for remembering. You told me that.
No. It's Lauren's story.
Oh.
It's Lauren's story that you did better than him because you did a Tony Bennett. Lauren would every night at wherever it was, where the Italian place that
I don't know.
You'd go to.
I never got invited.
Olive Garden.
I went along because I got along with everybody.
That deserves something. That was good. Olive Garden. Yeah. Lauren took us out to Olive Garden. So Tony Bennett during rehearsal, empty place, completely empty during sound check. I left my heart. Oh, thanks for remembering.
That's his whole sound check.
Pointing to an empty seat.
That's great.
I was going to ask you, favorite Muppet, the prawn. What's his name?
Pepe the King Prawn.
I got to write down Pepe so I don't forget it. Is there ever, when you get these offers from your guy, do you ever have an imposter syndrome?
I get it from other guys too, just want to say. Jeffrey's produced a bunch of stuff. Anyway. Do I what?
Do you ever...
I was presented with a point I needed to nail down, and sorry to interrupt.
My eye tooth got in the way of my tongue. I couldn't see what you were saying. Do you ever get imposter syndrome when you get an offer, thinking like, well, there's a couple of producers here that probably didn't want me?
Oh, no. Usually they have their way, I guess, until it gets to me.
But when you do Mammoth, for example, do you feel? I guess maybe do I hold Mammoth in more regard? Or do I have this more reverence to Mammoth than you?
I will say this: that first time I heard from Patrick Marver, who's the director, was emailing and chatting, and he said Mammoth has signed off on you. He thinks it's good casting. So I was like, okay, it's not going to be a bad a surprise. Yeah. And like I said, I knew him socially, and I knew my wife is best friends with his sister, and like so we've been to family stuff together, and we watched many a groom get hoist on the chair, those events, and we just kind of got along. But it was nice to hear that it was like, as an actor, yeah, he's okay too. So
does he give any notes?
Never saw the show until opening night. He didn't want to see the show. He wasn't involved. He would, if Patrick, the director, had a question about kind of what something meant, how does this land here, or does this person not know until later? And sometimes he would have a few pointers. Otherwise, he would say, "No, it's there. It's there. You look for it, you'll find it." And so he was not involved at all. But he was very happy that night. So that's good.
What's the hardest piece of dialogue you have ever had to remember?
It's probably something I did Gloucester in King Lear at the Public with Sam Waterston. Sam Waterston as Lear, and Bill Irwin as the Fool, and Arian Moayed as Edgar. I mean, it was like a really cool cast. It was really fun, and it wasn't a great production. It was 3 hours of Shakespeare and with a lot of stuff. And a lot of it was fun, but a lot of it was also kind of, no. But anyway, so we really had a good time doing that. But I did have one speech where I'm having my eyes pulled out. Now, you know the play at all. This Gloucester gets his eyes pulled out. It's a big Act 2 finish. The crowd loves it. So anyway, there was a speech I had to do in the midst of that. And it was like, dude, and it was like I'd get it right every night.
Dude.
I'd get it right almost every night. But it was while I was in the middle of it, it was like, what the fuck am I talking about? This is ridiculous, It was so, and all I could just was keep spewing. So at one point I shifted into some drivel, and it was just none of these words were real words. They weren't making sense.
Brought you back to your Spinal Tap hashtags.
Yeah, pretty much. So when I came off after the scene, I come off and there's blood running all over my face. I come off, and Kelly O'Hara was in the show. She goes, "I think you actually used the word Smurf out there." I don't think that's in Shakespeare. Oh, you're right.
It should be.
So there were a couple of places where it was like that,
Do you like Shakespeare?
Yeah. So I haven't done a ton of it. I did a lot in high school.
Say that again?
Did a lot in high school.
Left to your own devices, will you sit at home and read it?
No.
I never could get the language down.
It's hard.
It is a different language.
Yeah.
Even though it's English.
Yeah.
Like, wherefore art thou Romeo isn't where are you Romeo?
No.
Like, that's what
why,
it should be.
It's why are you Romeo? It's why are you Romeo?
Why are you, wherefore art thou Romeo? Why are you Romeo?
Yeah.
Why are you
Why do you have to be old Romeo? Why couldn't your name be something else?
Yeah.
It doesn't go.
But that's not even the beef. The beef is Capulet versus Montague.
Right.
So she fucks that up.
We'll call you Monty.
Monty. Wherefore? Yeah. It's very. It's like that's what I'm like when I listen to Sting. Also, it's all too much. You know what I mean? Like Sting's too Sting for me.
Yeah.
The Police, dynamite.
Well, my daughter works at and has worked at a lot of the Oregon Shakespeare Festival and Utah Shakes. She's done a couple of things. And it's really kind of done proper, and everyone's clear, and you really don't have a lot of questions about what's going on, just because they all speak it, and they're all clear about it, and the directors are very inventive, and they have some really, really good people there.
But then you get like Richard III, where Pacino's still trying to wrap his head around it.
Well, sure. Sure. But the thing is, one problem is that these plays were pieced together from different editions. And there are, for example, in King Lear, in the first act, we meet the King of France. He takes one of the daughters and takes off, and we never hear his name mentioned again. His daughter becomes a warrior. We never hear whatever happened. He's never mentioned again. And you go, well, let's track that. I mean, maybe there's a play there. King of France by William Shakespeare. Nah, that ain't going to work. It's the history. It's 500 years ago, practically, or
most expensive autograph in the world is if you can get a Shakespeare.
Get his rookie card.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I knew he'd bring sports into it. What do we think is the second most expensive autograph?
John Wayne Gacy.
Mm.
No, he signed all the clowns.
John
That's
Hancock.
right. Yeah, you can get him.
John Hancock is a good guess.
Yeah.
That's a very good guess. I always thought it'd be a good sketch, like John Hancock signs it so big on the Declaration of Independence. Sketches that I thought of after I left SNL.
Yeah.
So he goes like John Hancock, and all the other guys in the room are like, "Looks good."
And
Like, guys, you can't. I'm gonna get hanged. Like, no, it's you just let them know how we all feel. Yeah, but I'm the only one that signed it. It's fine. Like everyone, like, no, you took up all the room.
Yeah. I would, but there's,
Stan
What's the
Freberg.
best-
Stan Freberg had that joke, and the Stan Freberg Presents the United States of America, which, if you can find it, is a great comedy album from the late 50s. And he says, so let's take a look at the document you got here. It's Ben Franklin trying to figure out ways not to sign the document because he's just, put your name on too many lists, pretty soon you're answering to the feds. So he says, all right, let me see this one in the course of... And he gets down there and says, well, look at this Hancock here. Pretty flamboyant signature for an insurance man.
What's the greatest concert you ever saw in your life?
Wow. Wow. I'll tell you, the greatest opening act I ever saw was the Staple Singers.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a guy and his two sisters and their dad with an electric guitar, a Fender Electric and an amp. And that was the act. It was the Fillmore East. And it was like, holy shit. I mean,
Who
it was
did
a lot
they
of
open for?
Jefferson Airplane, who were really great. I mean, it was I was not the
Pre
number
or post
one.
Altamont?
Oh, pre. This was 68.
Do you think that guy drummed a little differently after he got brained by a Hell's Angel?
God, oh, man. But I saw, I tell you what it was, of course. It was Hollywood High. Elvis Costello, Nick Lowe and Dave Edmunds with Rockpile, and Mink DeVille. And DeVille was in the middle act, and he suffered by being between these, because the Rockpile wasn't even announced. It was supposed to be Mink and Elvis at Hollywood High. And you can find this. It was released. They released some of the shows, I guess. There were 2 shows. And, oh, man, it was a great show. But anyway, I saw Rockpile. Rockpile is the greatest rock band I ever saw.
Somebody's at the door, Kyle. That's never happened before.
That's not good.
Because that's not a real entrance.
Oh, well, I almost came through there.
Let's see what's going on here.
Yeah.
I saw Todd Rundgren at the Ritz once, and his bassist got the set list stuck to his shoe. And for an hour and a half, just kept going like this because he never went down to bend down to pick it up. It was a terrible concert to begin with.
Oh yeah,
and I was right on the side of the stage, eye level with this guy's foot.
He's a real one of a kind guy, isn't he?
Who's that?
Rundgren.
He won't play his hit. Bang on the drum all day. He won't do it live.
You know why? Because I met him in '92.
What the fuck's going on here? Excuse me.
Yeah.
Oh, I had ACL surgery. That's why I'm limping around.
Oh, dude. Oh, no. I'm having a fine time.
Somebody trick-or-treating?
Yeah, it's her grandson, Liam. That kid was born with his stomach outside of his body.
No, really?
That little boy you just saw? He's a fucking walking miracle.
Wow.
I say that like I'm from Boston. That guy's a fucking walking miracle. Unfucking believable. Shouldn't even be alive today. He's fucking wicked. Yeah, so Todd Rundgren was, what's the worst concert ever? I saw Genesis at the Carrier Dome when they reunited. I was embarrassed.
With Peter?
No, it was, Phil Collins.
Yeah.
And I was just embarrassed of white people. It was just so blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah.
There was a group called the Youngbloods, Jesse Colin Young's band, and it was Jerry Corbett. It was a really, really cool 4-piece, and I saw them in 67 or something at the skating rink in Central Park. Great act, put out some, everybody get together, try and love one another right now. That's their thing. And Darkness, they had 2 hits. So, but anyway, I went to see them at the Palomino Club in the Valley, and it was like their big reunion. And it was like not terribly well attended, and they really kind of weren't speaking. And it wasn't the worst thing I ever saw, but it was really like, 60s are way over, man.
You got to know when to get out. Like I stopped going on the road this year.
Yeah.
In I guess my last gig was Reno, October 6th. It's like 55 years old, sober 4.5 years, got my family back, my life back. Like, I don't want to sit in a fucking hotel room in Albany from Thursday to Sunday.
And that's what it's mostly made of.
It's no way to live. Like, that's like this. If monetizing a podcast, like, this is crazy. Right now, I'm making cents on the dollar, Michael. You don't know the best show you've ever seen? There's no show that pops out? Pick the fucking energy up. Let's go.
I would say
Elvis Costello.
I'd say the Elvis Costello at Hollywood.
Yeah, but it was tied to somebody else with their dad with a guitar and the fucking thing, and they were sisters. Who knows what he's talking about this one? Favorite? Give me 3 SNL sketches you never want to live without.
Wow. I think
Senior Foley.
Yeah. I gotta say Peter Boyle and Belushi doing the dueling Brandos.
Oh,
I thought that just kind of landed like, oh, this is kind of genius that they would
Peter
do
Boyle was a G. People have no idea. That goofy dad from Everybody Loves Raymond was like John Lennon's bridal party.
Oh, yeah.
Like he fucking rolled hard.
He was a powerhouse.
Yeah.
I got to know him on the remake of That Darn Cat. It'll be the only mention of this particular
Not
film.
as good as the book.
It was a couple who wrote this book. It was like the Carpenters, not the Carpenters, obviously.
Staples.
But the
Staples.
the McCaffreys or whatever
Richard
they were
Beebe
called.
and son.
Anyway, we hung out a little bit, and I thought he was amazing. I got to know him pretty well. But we went out. We heard he calls me up in the hotel in South Carolina, I think, or Georgia, and he says, they're gonna blow up the gas station. You want to see that?" I said, "Yeah, you know where they're doing?" "Yeah, no, I'll get a car." So we go driving out there, and we just kind of shoot the shit for an hour or so, and he was just hilarious. And I'd known him a little bit for a long time before that, but had
and would
such
do
a
great
great
in
time.
a bar fight.
Oh, no kidding.
He'll kill you.
Be very handy. Yeah. So we got there 5 minutes too late.
Oh, no.
Get there, and the thing is literally smoldering, And it wasn't solid damage, it was still standing, but they just we missed all the squibs and stuff. It was probably pretty cute.
I fucked up your story by interjecting my stupid shit into it.
No, there is no story there.
Dueling Brandos. Give me another 2. We'll go around the room. We'll close with it.
Jeez, wow. I'm trying to think. I can't think of anything. There were some things that. There was one Chris Elliott sketch when you were there when Chris was there, yes. And it was the one. It was like this little general store up in Maine, and this fella comes in from out of town, and they're telling stories and everything, and then it goes really dark, and they become kind of his oppressors. Somehow, I've only seen it once, but I remember watching it in rehearsal and going, this is kind of weird and genius. But I love that because it was not like anything. And I love Madeline Kahn and Gilda Radner just doing, there's an early show where they're just doing little things to each other. This is a baby. This is Madeline Kahn. This is a baby having his first bite of ice cream. It was, I don't know.
And they would just act it out.
And they would just do things that, and Gilda would be a parakeet. And then they would just swap these things back and forth. And it was just so sweet. There's a lot of racket and roar in those sketches, but I don't tend to remember those as anything but, oh, yeah, this is great when they do this.
You're so hip at heart.
I know, I'm just a softie.
This is like
I'm a
the
softie.
KCRW answers.
This is Miles from nowhere. It's my midnight to 6 guy.
I'm going to go synchronized swimming.
Strong.
Are you really?
Martin Short.
Oh, yeah.
And Harry Shearer,
great,
synchronized swimming
great
piece.
sketch.
I'm going to go Chris Farley, motivational speaker. I'm going to go Jim Belushi, high school chess coach. Pawn to rook 4. Oh! And he kicks the table over. Why don't you just give him the queen?
I don't know that one.
Oh, it's just a pre-taped thing. It's the high school.
That was
chess
84,
coach.
probably.
I love those years.
Yeah.
I love those weird Fran Tarkenton, Brandon Tartikoff years.
Fran Tarkenton. Yeah.
Like
Less
they just,
scrambled.
it was Martin Short, Billy Crystal, Christopher Guest.
Right.
Like it was
Harry,
Harry.
sure.
Yeah. Tim Kazurinsky was still
Rich
hanging
Hall.
on. Just the Wanderer. Wanderer was great. Remember, he'd just be a sketch, and he would just walk in the background and be like, "Can we help you?" He's like, "No."
Oh yeah.
Just wandering around.
Rich lives in England now.
Yeah.
He's lived there for
Off that
maybe
Sniglets
20
money?
years. Well, he just kind of got sick of the whole thing in the States, just
I don't know about
enough's
the States.
enough.
If the States is show business, I mean, I can't keep up with the TikTokers and the YouTubers and the fucking drag brunch at the improvs. And, Give me your top 3 SNL sketches.
I loved Celebrity Jeopardy where Norm is Turd Ferguson.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, I got to stick to mine, but that's a damn. I'll take the rapist.
No. Yeah, but that's like a brand.
I'll
Those
take the
things always work if they had Norm.
But that one, I'll take the rapist for 200. That's therapist.
I also loved Norm doing Letterman.
Yeah.
You got any gum? That always kills me.
I always Norm as Norm is so.
A Norm as Norm doing the news is just.
It's sort of like he was a really good sketch comic, but just Norm being Norm and having these jokes, kind of rebuilding these jokes around his psyche, and then spilling them out over the course of 6 minutes. It was just that kills me. I think it's just brilliant.
You know this from when you pitch shows. We'll get your other 2 on another episode. When you pitch shows to the host.
Yeah.
Okay, so Travolta obviously hosted when we did Pulp Fiction directing Welcome Back, Kotter.
Yes.
So you sit around in a half circle and everybody goes around the room and pitches their ideas. And at the very end, Lauren will look at the host and go, Michael, is there anything you'd like to do? And 99 times out of 100, the host goes, no, sounds great. The 2 off ones are Walken had been staring out the window. This was a year before I got there, 2 years before you got there. Mike Myers told me this.
Yeah.
Chris, anything you'd like to do? And Walken had just been staring out the window, tuned everybody out every pitch and goes, bass suits are funny. So are ape suits. Bass suits and ape suits. And they're all like, okay.
Yeah.
And then the other one, which is John Travolta with a yellow legal pad going, yeah, I do have some ideas.
Oh, boy.
Bro, a full yellow legal pad.
Yeah.
We just pitched for an hour and a half, tap dancing our dicks off.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, I think it'd be funny if I was a Hasidic Jew. If I could be an Hasidic Jew, maybe I could be a detective.
Yeah.
And we're like, yeah, we'll get onto it. He's like, no, hold on. Page 2.
Yeah.
It went on and on.
I sort of remember that. Yeah.
But you remember that.
And Roseanne came in with people. She came in with a staff.
That's fine.
Yeah. And Marissa Tomei did the smartest thing. No. Anyway, whatever. But she, I like her fine. But she did have a couple of friends, and I thought, are they going to be pitching? And if they did, they vanished after a while, and they were around. But I don't think that those are the only 2 I remember.
I just said because she was. Remember, you were in Good Morning Brooklyn with me, and she was the first one. I think she was my second week.
Yeah,
and then she was going to play. No, excuse me. It was Psychic Friends Network, Christopher Walken, Psychic Friends Network, and I had her as Sean Young dressed as Catwoman. And then Shannon Doherty was going to do it. Then she tapped out because she didn't want to make fun of Sean Young.
Because of the powerful Sean Young lobby.
Friend of the Academy. 2 Academy powerhouses. And then, it was Marissa Tomei. It was Good Morning Brooklyn. She was going to do it. And then I said, well, I'm a featured performer. And she goes, wait, you're not even a cast member? And then she backed out of the sketch.
Really?
But we got it off with Courtney Cox and
it was funny.
Sarah Jessica Parker was great when she kicked Farley in the nuts. Get your hands off me, you mutt. But there's an art of the fake pitch when you don't want to tip your idea. And I didn't realize that because you pitch your sketch and then when it's at the table read, it bombs because you did all the jokes in the pitch.
Yeah, yeah.
And so guys would do, Kevin Nealon would always, every week, I got an idea for, those guys, those runaway truck ramps. There's a guy that has a house on the top of a runaway truck ramp, and every night at dinner, a semi comes crashing, through the wall. Well, I'll talk to you about it later. And they would just do an update. He had no reason even to be there. But Norm was the king. It was Bob Newhart, and Norm goes, I got an idea where you're a guy has a hard time with the difference between the words literally and figuratively, Because, you'll say to a guy, like, yeah, how was that movie, And they'll go, I literally laughed my head off, but their head's still on their body, And Bob Newhart must have sensed it was a fake pitch. Bob Newhart, just sitting across from Norm, goes, yeah, I'm not sure I follow. And Norm goes, so he out-normed Norm.
Yeah.
And Norm goes, how was, you had your tooth pulled? How was that, you had that tooth pulled?
Do you remember the sketch we wrote for Bob that didn't go? It was a guy, it was a father-son thing. It was you played softball. You were driving home. You played softball at some thing, and your dad was playing and you were coaching for some reason, and you were just unloading on him. And it was just an abusive sketch. We just thought it'd be funny if you
screamed at Bob Newhart.
Yeah, just really abusive.
And the whole sketch is Bob Newhart going, again, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Wasn't much
we
there.
just wrote for him.
Yeah.
But then I wrote the worst sketch of all time where he was a doctor that became he was a pediatrician that became an oncologist, but he couldn't lose. He goes, that way we can save your pee-pee. Because he was a pediatrician.
Yeah.
And then in the middle of the table read, he goes, well, mommies, who you guys, you realize you're watching the end of my career, don't you? He said it like out loud to the room. And I went, that's worth the bomb.
Fabulous.
That was my biggest bomb week ever.
Wow.
Michael's back out with Spinal. Are you back out with Spinal Tap? Or you guys are done with that?
Oh, no. We released the film. It's now viewable, or it's pretty soon is going to be viewable in your very own home. And you can buy an album if you'll look around for it. It just came out. And
we'll put all the links up on our thing.
Yeah.
Harry was here, again, in the depths of my drug addiction, but he insisted on coming as Derek Smalls.
When was this?
Probably 2019, 2020.
Yeah.
But I was real high, and I'm like, that sounds great to me.
Yeah.
And I just sat with Derek Smalls the entire interview.
Ah.
And I just interviewed Derek Smalls. It was wonderful.
Oh,
but he came in with the wig and the tight pants.
Sure.
This neighborhood's not exactly
British
it's
mod
sort
of
rock.
like, it's sort of, I think we really have reached what you call the coda in music, It's sort of like, okay, we're done here. Now, Chris and I, we did one concert in September at Stonehenge. We're the first rock band to actually play Stonehenge.
Wow. As you should have been.
Yes. And it was fun, but we filmed it with like 16 cameras, and it was kind of they offered us the gig. Stonehenge said, would you guys like to play? You'll be the only band we ever. Dude, of course we're going to do it. So then it became a movie. So anyway, in February or so, that you'll be able to see the period on the end of the sentence. And it was fun.
That's the best concert somebody's ever been to.
You want me to hold this until I can hold this episode till February if you want? I'm joking. I can't. No, I know we said we're going to be done, but I can't. I'm realizing usually the guest leaves, and I'm like, oh my God. But when you say Chris Guest, my dream in life, and I feel like where I would have been the best is Waiting for Guffman, A Mighty Wind, but fucking Best in Show. You and three names.
John Michael Higgins.
Wow, I feel like Alan Ladd on Easter Island. My favorite ad lib of all. I say it all the time whenever anybody tells me how tall they are.
No, he's an amazing improviser, and he's kind of got this annoying genius for harmony. He can teach harmony. He can teach any room, 3 or 4 people in it, teach them these complex harmony parts because he's kind of a fascist about it. I mean, he's one of those guys really on the money, but he's also so free as an improviser. It's fantastic.
How much of those movies are improvised?
98%.
So what is it? Just the script?
It's a scenario. It's
the sides there's sides in the morning that say you're checking into a hotel.
No, you know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. If I don't know about day players, I've always been on the whole thing, and I get to read the whole scenario, but it's just, here's a scene, this is what happens here, and da-da-da-da. And everything is, it's you kind of learn your stuff, and the stuff being You're going from point A to point B. You're
So
going to
you
you're
guys
going to
get-
meet so and so,
Yeah.
and you know that's it.
That's all it is. You're checking. You need to get your hotel room.
We know our story pretty much, and all of those films are kind of interconnected, independent stories in a way. That's why people are sort of paired up or in groups, or it's you know, or very lonely. You know, there's no fourth thing. Anyway, it's you learn your stuff, and then you go in and you do it, and you try and make each other go.
Have you been broken on those laughing wise?
Well, in Spinal Tap, going all those years back, with Fred Willard, I guess that's probably the worst. We're all laughing. You can't see it, but we're all urinating, and just it's the funniest man. God, he was brilliant. He's at a window into another world. This guy.
Yeah, when he's the announcer, and it's the most gratuitous part. It's like, okay, you guys are going to do all your thing with the dogs. You'll shoot me separately up here, and I'll pretend I'm the announcer for the dogs. It's the most throwaway part. But it's one of the best parts of the movie. Like, doesn't that dog look like he'd look great in a hat?
I'd get a kick out of it.
Does he know he's the winner?
Yeah, amazing. Boy, he went after her like she was made out of ham. That's my favorite. But no, and Fred did all of his stuff in a day and a half.
Yeah. Wow.
And Chris told me, he said, the first half day, he says it wasn't there. He was trying to be informative and everything. He said, no, you're the loose cannon. You're the guy who doesn't belong there. And then it's like, inappropriate.
He set him free.
Then, he set him free. He said, you don't have to be appropriate or on the money. We'll give you some blurbs about the different breeds and everything, you know, but it was a dream come true. He was great.
Am I weird? Like Parker Posey in Best in Show, that's, to me, that's the hottest a woman can get to me. Like braces, uptight. I know just what she needs.
Yeah. She's one of those people who will eventually throw a phone at somebody and really hurt him. They're constantly throwing phones.
Yeah.
But they should just catch a guy just right over the bridge of the nose, you know, and it'll be. I heard a story about a sitcom star who was famously difficult, who hurled a full can of soda at a person in a tantrum on a set, and would have killed him. It was really like, you know, Nolan Ryan throwing a soda can at your head. She was so angry. You go, wow, that would be a real interesting Hollywood cover-up. Yes, an unfortunate accident.
It's probably easier to cover murder than a full can of Sprite across the bridge of the nose, killing something. Like, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
Like, well, I'm so glad you're here. Welcome to my home.
I had a very nice time.
You
talking
are
my ass off.
You're just one of the guys that had a huge impact in my life when I was really adrift.
Well,
You were a friendly guy.
Well, here's the thing. It was you know, I got along with pretty much everybody when I got there. There were people who were less visible to me because we didn't kind of run in the same circles. But you were a great hang around, along with along with writing and just hanging out, and it was a pleasure.
That's going on my tombstone. He was a great hang, Michael McKean.
Sounds kind of pendulously phallic to me, but you can. That's okay. Great hang. I'll go with it.
Pendulously I can't even say it. You're such a smarty pants. No wonder BB tapped out.
Oh, Richard Beebe did, and he had a recording of a voiceover for a commercial for a movie called The Naughty Stewardesses. It was an X-rated, and so they would just have late at night, you'd hear this, the naughty stewardesses, they're ready for their layover. That kind of humor. It's like, they played this on the radio. Said, yeah, a guy made like $60, $70. You know, it's great.
But you can't leave without giving me some Vincent Price, because it blew me away when you did it.
But there is no joy in Mudville. Mighty Casey has struck out.
Thank you, friends. Oh.
Jay Mohr's my uncle. The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in more places that could expose you more to identity theft. But LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our US-based restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Don't face drained accounts, fraudulent loans, or financial losses alone. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.